You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And let's go beyond the box score with our regular commentator, Jackie Ray of Jackie Ray TV. Jackie Ray, it's good to see you. Good to talk to you. How you doing tonight?
Doing great. Good to see you too.
I have to ask you straight away. We have talked about Caitlin Clark for quite some time now. She's had an up and down season. I think that's fair to say. Yeah. She's leading the league in turnovers, but her output has been steadily increasing. She, in fact, became the first rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double. That's no small accomplishment. The team, the Indiana Fever, has been rising in the rankings and, game-to-game basis as to whether they're in the playoff picture. But what do you make of her contributions thus far?
I don't think anyone is surprised that Caitlin broke a record. She's been doing it her entire collegiate career. So we expected her to come into the league and break records. I think the whole narrative was just a little skewed because with her, she brought fans that didn't understand that she wasn't going to come into the league and immediately start dominating. It was going to take a growth spurt. A lot of people don't know that the NCAA game is not the same as the W, so there is a learning curve there. I've said from day one that her success was going to be pivotal on her relationship with Aaliyah Boston. That relationship did not develop very quickly, but we're seeing it now. Caitlin Clark herself even said she credits Aaliyah for being a good leader, and now we're seeing it. Now the whole team, and because when Caitlin Clark is good, the whole team is good. When Aaliyah is good, the whole team is good. And if those two can work well in tandem, then now we're speaking a different game about the Indiana Fever. So this is a huge, huge thing for Fever fans to see her come out and break this record. Not even break this record, set this record. It's a big thing for them to see because it's a testament of not only who Caitlin Clark is, but who the Indiana Fever are becoming.
I credit you with this next point because I remember you saying that the league is not going to grow, and I'm paraphrasing you. The league is not going to grow as long as you have to hunt for the games. You can't find them on TV. I know where to find them, but I still had to hunt for them. Now I don't have to hunt for them. I know every single night a game is going to be on TV somewhere, be it a Chicago Sky game with Angel Reese, and we'll get to her in a second, or it will be an Indiana Fever or some other game on ESPN or NBA TV. What do you make of that change?
I mean, that has been something that I have been talking about since I started watching the league because, back in 1997, way in a long, long time ago days, watching the WNBA was not a thing. If you were in a city that had a team, maybe you can go see one, but watching it on TV has not been a thing. That started to grow and that started to change. But even as a reporter who covers the league, it becomes difficult because now you're kind of relying on box scores and highlights because you still couldn't find games readily available. Now it's great. You can watch if it's out of if sometimes games are blacked out because you're in a certain area and they want you to have a certain platform to watch that game, but you could still go back and watch it later. Prime, I have Prime. I'm on Prime all the time. I love turning on my Prime and seeing the first thing that pops up when you turn on Prime now is what WNBA games. That's an intentional advertisement to let people know, hey, we're not just giving you movies and your favorite original series. We got sports on here too. Amazon is getting more and more into the sports world, so it's a great relationship for them. So it's important to grow the league because now this is a huge moment for Caitlin Clark. I don't know if it would have been as big as it is right now if people had to try to go search and go on YouTube and maybe find a clip of it to see the highlight. People saw this in real time across the country, and that's a great thing for Caitlin. That's a great thing for the league, and it's a great thing moving forward.
Angel Reese, speaking of records and speaking of rookies, just broke a record for the most double-doubles in the history of the league, with 13 double-doubles. And if you don't know what a double-double is, that is double figures in points and rebounds. She's been doing it like no one ever before. What do you make of her growth in the league?
Her growth, to me, isn't as big as Caitlin's growth because Caitlin struggled right out the gate when she came into the league, whereas Angel just had to find her family. You know what I mean? It was more about building a relationship. So she's been playing a pretty decent game since she got into the league. But now the same thing, though, they're gelling on all cylinders. The relationship between them and the coach. Kennedy Carter has been the odd man out in the league for quite some time. And there is a level of mutual respect between them. Nobody on that team is really selfish, which you would expect with a name like Angel Reese on that team. But nobody on that team is selfish, and they play so well together. So her growth spurt is exactly what I expected from her. I do expect her to take a big leap her second year, but as far as her first year, this is exactly what I expected from her.
I'm going to ask you a very easy question, but it's to highlight a point. The headlines have been Caitlin Clark. Yes. The headlines have been Angel Reese. Here's my question. Who is the best player in the WNBA?
Asia Wilson.
But the headlines seemingly have not been centered around her. And I would make a comparison. Let's say this was 5 years ago and the headlines were around the rookie in the NBA, but not LeBron James. It would seem somewhat odd. What do you make of that?
Oh, Lord, now I got to pick my words. I think this is one of those situations where, you know, I've talked to the commissioner about this, and you have to build these rivalries, right? Because rivalries grow the game. The problem with building rivalries in the W is, yes, they have an East Coast, West Coast, but at the end of the day, when you're talking about going to the playoffs, it's the top teams. The divisions don't matter. So it's difficult to really build a rivalry when you don't have true divisions. So what you have to do now, unfortunately, is rely on some of the deep-seated biases that are in our country and how that's played out in real time. And you have to play into that. I think it's disgusting personally, but if you're talking, there's no such thing as bad press. So you do what you got to do.
Well, I agree with you as far as the rivalries. There may be something more afoot than just biases. I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but we also know what we see as far as the rooting interests and why people may be rooting for certain players. But that was true with Magic and Bird. This is not new. But I am overall pleased at the growth of the WNBA, and it's something that we were ahead of the curve, really far ahead of the curve, and it's now coming to fruition. When we come back, we mentioned the NBA, but let's, along those same lines, talk about some of the larger, I'll say, issues in the NBA. As Jonte Porter, we talked about him and the betting scandal, how he was banned for life. Well, his ass is going to jail on federal charges, and he may be, well, he's going to be pleading guilty. So let's get into that next. It's Later with Mo Kelly as we go beyond the box score with Jackie Ray.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly as we continue to go beyond the box score with Jackie Ray. And we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We had reported recently about former Toronto Raptors player Jonte Porter, who had been banned for life from the NBA for gambling on basketball, gambling on his own team, prop bets on his own play. He was manipulating his own playing time to not reach certain numbers, faking injuries, and so forth. Well, since he's had the lifetime ban, federal prosecutors named Jonte Porter in a criminal information sheet in Brooklyn last Tuesday. That means that at least one federal charge against him is imminent. And there are also published reports that Porter, I guess it'll be a good thing to do, is going to plead guilty. There's no way to get around it. But beyond him pleading guilty, what do you think the criminal charge, what type of message it will send to the rest of the league? It's one thing if you're just going to get banned from the sport. It's another if your ass might go to jail.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting case just in general because deep down inside, I'm sure he wishes he spoke a foreign language and had an interpreter because that would make things much easier for him. But
wait, don't gloss over that. To whom are you referring? Are you making an oblique reference to Shohei Ohtani and his interpreter?
I am. And I think that, you know, you would have had to been born last Tuesday at 12:01 to really think that that's not exactly what you thought it was, you know, but again, he's not a star player. So there's a lot of things about this that question is kind of loaded. If this was LeBron James, would we even have heard about it? Would it have been all of a sudden somebody in his camp got a hold of things? Because, you know, I believe it was, Jimmy Johnson one time said, you're not going to get treated fairly. If you're not the star player, don't ask me how I'm treating the star player because you're not that person. I saw him say that one time. And that's just how the league and truly the world is. So I think the message really is to people who, first of all, don't risk the check. That is first and foremost.
Yes. Whatever
you're going to earn from that bet is not worth your contract. What was it, like $25,000? I think he would have made, so it's not worth it. We don't live in an economy where you need to be risking the check. That's stupid. But second of all, you don't have the name. You don't have the name to save yourself. There's no one that's going to help you cover this up. They will leave you out on that island by yourself. So you have to know your surroundings. So do I think that this is going to really prevent gambling going forward? Maybe in the lower level players. But I do think the higher level players and that have that ego and that celebrity to go with their star power, we're going to hear about this again. I don't know how soon, but we're going to hear about this again.
I absolutely agree. And this goes back to my Roach theory. It's not the one that you see. It's the 150 that you don't see. And I believe that sports gambling is pervasive among athletes across all the sports. Some are maybe a little smarter in going about it than others. Maybe they're not using their own name. Maybe they're using their interpreter. Wink, wink. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're doing something where it creates plausible deniability, but it's everywhere. And we knew that it's everywhere. It's just going to be handled differently. But also, Jonte Porter is saying that he's going to claim gambling addiction, which may not be untrue, but does that make a difference?
I think legally it might, because I think we live in, like, if he's admitting, hey, I need help, you're basically throwing yourself on the mercy of the court is what you're doing. You're saying, I've had this problem. Now, he would have to prove that. I don't know how he would prove it. Maybe he's spent a ton of money on Powerball tickets or something like that, but he definitely would have to prove that. But then what you're saying is, hey, I have this problem. I need help. Can you please help me? Because we as a country have all these things like Gamblers Anonymous. Even when you do buy a Powerball ticket, when you see those commercials, they always end those commercials with, please gamble responsibly and if you need help. So he's really throwing himself on the mercy of the court. I am certain that this is by the urging of his attorney, and I think it's a good play.
All right, this is Sports and Society. We're going beyond the box score. Should we have more sympathy for him if, in fact, he has a gambling addiction? And when I say gambling addiction, I'm conflicted because I'm not even talking about an addiction where there's a chemical imbalance. You can argue with alcohol and it changes your brain chemistry. How should I say this? I don't know how much of a chemical imbalance is coming from gambling addiction as opposed to a compulsive disorder, which I view completely differently. Am I making any sense?
No, you're making great sense, because I think if I had a larger bank account, I for sure would have a shopping addiction, because I love, especially at home, because it does release endorphins. I like to shop online. I do not like malls. I do not like to be around people. I don't like to try on stuff, but I do like to go online and order something and then sit patiently and wait and can't wait to try it on. It does release a level of endorphins. What prevents me from doing that, though, is when I do it 2 or 3 times in a week and then my bank account says, okay, that's enough. So then that leads to your point. Do the endorphins that I feel in the moment that I order something outweigh my common sense that says I cannot financially afford to do this? And so that's where this always comes into play with me. I can maybe argue, same as you. I've seen people, I used to struggle with that because people would say, oh, addiction is a disease. I still struggle with that term. And I think people who have experienced a true disease that's not by their own design would do that as well. But when you talk about the effects that it has on the body and the mind, then you can start to understand why this is a totally different animal. But when you live in a capitalistic society, it's difficult for me to say you have an addiction to something that hits your bank account. And so that's something that I struggle with. I would need a psychologist to really help me through that. Because again, I think I've gone last week, I was just like, oh, let me order this. And I have alerts on my Bank of America account that says when I order too much, it's going to send me a text. I got that text. I was like, let me cancel this order, because the world you live in. So it's difficult for me to believe that gambling is a true addiction, although there have been people who have lost their families behind it. So it's something that's difficult for me to process, though.
Well, this is why we have this segment, because we're all going to have to process it. And also, to your point, this won't be the last time we'll have to process the idea of gambling/gambling addiction and professional sports. She is Jackie Ray, host of the Jackie Ray Show. Jackie Ray, who were you speaking to? Who are you getting ready to speak to?
So I'm very excited. Make sure you check me out on all social media platforms at Jackie Ray TV and on my website, JackieRayTV.com, because I had the opportunity to interview Kalia Copper. She plays with the Phoenix Mercury. She is an amazing player. She had a great game that helped beat the Sparks. But I didn't interview her necessarily. I kind of went beyond my own box score with her. And I think a lot of times when we talk to players, we talk about, well, what motivated you to do this play? What motivated you to do that? And I just really wanted to get to know her. What are some of her favorite things to do as a person, her skincare routine? So if you want to learn a little bit more about the person instead of the player, make sure you check me out, because that interview will be out shortly.
She's Jackie Ray. We love her. We always like to talk to her every single Monday evening. And we'll talk to you again soon, Jackie Ray.
Can't wait.
We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Have you ever gone out, as we talk about tipping and social etiquette, have you ever gone out to a restaurant and you have maybe a party of 7 or 8 or even 10, and you start thinking about the inevitable discussion of, okay, are we going to split the tab? Are we going to have one person pay it? And there are things which make it a little bit easier today. When you have services like Cash App or Venmo, it's easy or I should say easier for someone to put down their card and then maybe everyone reimburse that one person. That's something that I've been known to do, and it makes it a lot easier than, let's say, 5 years ago, where everyone, or I should say 3 people would have cash, 2 people would have credit cards, and 1 person have a debit card, and it was just a cluster truck. Now, it's getting a little bit easier, but there's still questions about the social etiquette of splitting the check. I came across this article, and it features Kiki Aranita, a food editor at New York Magazine, and she goes over common scenarios you may encounter while dining out with a large group. And I wonder if you, Tuala, and you, Mark, and you, Stefan, agree with her suggestions about splitting a check. Here we go. Here's scenario number 1. You arrive to dinner late. Everyone at the table already ordered drinks and appetizers and are about to order their entrees. What should you do as the person who arrived late?
Turn right around and walk out. Because you're screwed. Because even in the best case scenario, if you just operate like a normal human being, there's always going to be some jerk who orders a bunch of drinks and you're going to pay more than your fair share. I hate that.
Okay, we'll come to that. But Kiki says when you're ready to order, tell your server you want your food and drinks on a separate check.
I've tried that, and they say no if you're in a group over a certain size.
Some do. Some do that. That's
true.
a problem.
Yeah. So the best answer may not be an available answer. It may not be an available solution. Let's go on to scenario number 2. Everyone ordered alcohol except you, and now the table wants to split the tab fair and square across all the food and drink. I've been in this situation, and it's not cool. It's not cool, because those drinks are like $15, $20 a pop sometimes.
Yeah, and but we should defer to Tuala on this, because I'm not the one who's going to abstain from ordering a drink.
Okay, now, when I have gone to a few beat reunion get-togethers, like the old station I used to work at, we would all get together, and a lot of the old beat crew, they still drink. And even if I show up late and I don't really order a lot, because of this crew, I still, no matter what, put in more than anything. I don't care if I order just an appetizer, I'm putting in an entree's worth towards my tab, because that's just how I do.
I do it as well, and I'll put over and above that because I assume there's going to be a tip in there.
Yes.
And whenever I go out with people, they act like there's not going to be a tip, so they're only paying for their food. It's like, come on, the bill is $245 and we have $250.
Yeah.
What the frick?
That's a problem. That's a problem.
And
That's so irritating.
It is so irritating, but you have to do it. Here's scenario number 3. You're a party of 6. Is it okay to ask the server to split the check 6 ways? I just did this when I was in Korea. And the technology is such where it's very easy now, depending on the place you go, where you can just give them the 6 cards or whatever. And most places they don't trip. It's almost like just filling in check boxes, and they just scan your cards and then just assign an amount to them.
Now, there's a restaurant, again, with my beat crew, there is a restaurant we went to, I believe it was in Highland Park, where when we sat down, the waitress came around and took each person's order separately, even though we were in the same group, because it's almost that forward thinking of, I already know you all are now trying to put this together. You all showed up at different times. Each one of us got our own tab. And that's the
best case scenario. Yeah, if the place can accommodate it. Now, according to Arania, who has also been a bartender and server, recommends a maximum of 2 to 4 credit cards. Yeah, whatever. Good luck. We got a party of 6. 2 credit cards? Okay. Scenario number 4. It's your birthday, and your friends take you out. Who should pay for the meal?
The friends. You took me out.
That's right.
I would have been at the house.
I'm saying the friends.
Oh, the birthday person never pays.
All right.
No.
All right.
Hell no.
They say in American culture, that's the correct answer, but that's maybe not always the case. So you have to be aware of your friends. Look, if you're going to take me out for my birthday, damn it, if I have to pull out my wallet, we're going to have a misunderstanding.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to have a problem.
Unacceptable.
Absolutely.
Last scenario. It's your friend's first time at your favorite restaurant, and you decide to order an appetizer that you think everyone at the table will love. Who pays for that?
If I order the appetizer, I think everyone's going to like it.
Yes.
I'm paying for it.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah.
Just torch the place. These things are so irritating. Just set the restaurant on fire.
No. That's the way it is. If I want to get, I don't know, crab cakes or whatever, and I don't know if anyone else wants it, I'm going to get a larger order, and I'm paying for that because I wanted it. But I'm saying, hey, Mo, you want some?
Right. You make it available for everyone else.
Make it available, but not.
Have you seen the SNL skit on this with Owen Wilson?
I don't think so.
It's very funny.
Here's a check whenever you're ready. No rush. He was great, by the way. I think we tip him, right?
Okay, so, how should we do this?
I mean, I guess I could put it on my card?
No, you don't have to do that.
If it's easier, we can just split it 6 ways.
Well, some people had more than others.
Did they?
Let's just go through and see who ordered what.
Okay, that's fair.
Diet Coke.
That's me.
Coke Zero.
That's me.
Sprite Zero.
Me as well, just obeying my thirst.
Iced tea. Me. Arnold Palmer.
What?
Arnold Palmer with tequila.
Someone had to get the party started.
Whole roasted chicken, extra potatoes.
Sounds familiar.
Flat iron pork chop, sub out broccoli for potatoes.
Okay, no, wait. That I ordered for the table, although I probably did eat the lion's share of it.
98-ounce porterhouse steak.
Okay, don't look at me, because I did not get that. I'm serious. I didn't get that. There's no way. Come on.
There's a photo of you on the wall eating it.
Maybe.
4 bacon cheeseburgers to go.
Okay, I'm off the hot seat, Bob. That's you.
I'm a vegetarian.
Little too much information.
The Carson Daily. Chicken broth and vodka.
Yeah, I was trying to switch it up. A man cannot live on tequila alone.
5 shots of tequila, but leave them in the bathroom so my friends don't find out?
Yeah, I'm actually more concerned you called us friends.
A dozen raw eggs still in the container.
That, I'll admit, was a little grocery shopping. And I don't expect you guys to pay for that.
A bottle of your nicest white wine with a note that says, "Please take me back, Jennifer. I am so sorry. I know we can make this work if you just tell the judge you were lying."
They wrote that on the bill? Why? Just to embarrass me?
No, they charged you because you asked for it to be done by a calligrapher.
It's beautiful.
Bowl of turkey chili with a rum floater.
Did I do that?
Urkel.
Another small side of potatoes.
That actually was me. Those potatoes did look good.
And a Cadillac margarita.
Hey, it's 5 a.m. somewhere, right?
AM?
Anyone else really blacking out right now?
It's Later with Mo Kelly. We have your horoscope when we come back. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And all you need to know about your most attractive physical feature, but based on your zodiac sign. Aries, you're first up. Known for their fearless and adventurous nature, Aries individuals can be easily identified by their strong and assertive jawline. It is their well-defined and chiseled jaw that radiates confidence, making them instantly appear all the more alluring. Taurus, Taurans are popular for their natural good looks and earthy sensuality. As soon as they walk into any room, it is their full and luscious lips, paired with their well-rounded cheeks, that immediately draw all eyes toward them. Gemini, Mark, are you ready?
Let's have it.
For your best feature. Geminis are easily identifiable through their charming and extrovert nature, and their most attractive physical feature is their expressive and sparkling eyes that easily give away their thoughts, whether you are having a deep conversation or just sharing a joke.
And I thought you never noticed.
I notice everything. Okay, Stefan, your turn for Cancer.
Okay.
Cancerians are sensitive and caring individuals, with their most attractive physical feature being their friendly and inviting smile. Known for their nurturing nature, their genuine grin instantly brightens their face, radiating warmth and compassion. Leos are born leaders who exude confidence and charisma. Their most attractive physical feature is their hair. Whether it be fuss-free straight locks, cascading curls, or even a stylish haircut, they naturally command attention with their regal aura. Virgos are popular for their superior senses and meticulous attention to detail. Their most attractive physical feature is their flawless and youthful skin, which easily reflects their natural beauty and makes them appear far younger than they actually are. Libra, they're renowned for their charming and endearing nature. More often than not, their most attractive physical feature is their symmetrical and balanced facial structure. Balanced facial features are not only pleasant to look at, but also give Librans an otherworldly vibe. Scorpio, Tuala, are you ready?
Oh, let me adjust myself. I already know.
What do you adjust? Just never mind.
Nice. I think he gets a rim shot for that.
Yes, give it to him. I don't know if he was going for it, but he damn sure earned it. Scorpions are famously believed to be the most mysterious of all, which make them all the more irresistible. Their most attractive physical feature is their intense and penetrating gaze.
Penetrating, yes. Wait, what? Gaze. Oh.
Gaze.
Wow. Gaze. A penetrating gaze. I knew it.
It's like Ghost Rider, the penitent stare.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except this one penetrates.
Don't.
Which instantly draws people in and holds their attention.
Yep.
Sagittarius, that's me. Sagittarians like me are renowned for being adventurous and unrestricted in life. Their most attractive physical feature is their athletic and agile physique. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Their tone build easily reflects their active lifestyle and displays their need for constant movement. What was I doing in the studio earlier this hour? I was doing steps in the studio.
Just like a Greek god would.
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
I think out of the four of us, you are probably the most physically fit, though. I do have to agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, it must be this wonderful physique.
Now, Elmer, he's in the building now, and he definitely beats all of us.
Yeah, but he's 30 years younger than me.
That is true. So that doesn't count.
Elmer, how old are you? Get on the mic. You're new to KFI. How old are you?
I'm about to turn 32 in October.
Okay, so you're like 20 some odd years younger.
He still has all that energy. Nah.
He hasn't had a decrease in testosterone as of yet. He has a good 8 years to play with it.
When does that happen?
40?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
40.
He got a little bit. Matthew's fit, too, so.
But it is something when you start recognizing your own body changing and you realize, like, wait a minute, where did that come from? Why is that hanging just a little bit lower than usual?
Wait a minute, I'm a B cup now.
Right. It's like, how did that happen? It's like, it's so soft, and I'm not turned on by it.
It happens fast.
Oh, there's nothing worse than, especially when you get, I would say around 45. Each year, for me at least, I notice something different about me in the mirror. And that's when I started ducking the mirror, because it was always bad news. It was always like, or you'll see a picture of yourself and you say, gee, damn, I'm that big?
Yeah. I don't look that big in the mirror.
Something
wrong with your camera.
The mirror be lying. But yeah, enjoy it while you can, Elmer. Where was I?
Thank you.
Capricorn. Capricorns are ambitious and hardworking individuals who command authority as soon as they step inside a room. Their most attractive physical feature is usually, but not always, but usually their strong and sturdy bone structure, which easily reflects their diligence and discipline. Capricorns. Aquarius. Aquarians have a peculiar and nonconformist nature and often follow their own rhythm. Their most attractive physical feature is often their eccentric and quirky sense of style, which displays their unique individuality. Is that a feature?
That's what?
It's not
That's
a feature.
a style.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they know how to pair up their jeans and t-shirts? I don't get it. Pisces. Pisceans are some of the most caring and understanding people who possess a deep compassion for every individual they meet. Their most attractive physical feature is their sincere eyes, which are often blessed with long eyelashes, giving them a dreamy and romantic look that reflects their sensitive side. By drawing attention to the most attractive physical feature of your zodiac sign, you can elevate your looks and instantly become all the more captivating. Embrace and highlight your unique features and let the universe guide you towards looking your best. And that is your horoscope and your most attractive physical feature based on your sign. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Mood enhancing, pharmacy grade, stimulating talk.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live.